Okay, in this video we're going to look at vector subtraction. So how do you subtract two vectors? So if we're given two vectors a and b, then we define a minus b, or vector a minus b. All you do is you define it in terms of vector addition. So the way you subtract a minus b is that's the same as a plus negative b, which is, remember, that's the opposite of b. Okay, so that's how you define vector subtraction. There's a few different ways you could draw this. The easiest way I find is if you think about a and b drawn tail to tail. So here's a, here's b. Then, just like when you do addition, draw the parallelogram. So this vector up here would be a. So I'll draw it kind of in that same direction. Now with b, think about b going in the opposite direction. So if I go this way, that's negative b. Right, same magnitude as b, but opposite direction. Well then a plus minus b, that would be starting at the tail of a to the head of a, tail of b to the head of, tail of negative b to the head of negative b. So a minus b is just going to be this vector right here, a minus b. So notice it's the other diagonal in the parallelogram. If you remember, a plus b was this diagonal, so a minus b is the other diagonal in the parallelogram. So that's how you draw a minus b. So here's an example where we're going to look at vector subtraction. So this is a similar question to the one we did when we looked at vector addition. You have two vectors a and b. Angle between them is 30 degrees, so I'll draw that. So here's a, here's b. The angle between them is 30 degrees. So to get a minus b, remember, complete the parallelogram. So this would be a up here, and you could think about this one going in this direction as minus b. So a minus b would be this vector right here. So all we have to do is figure out the magnitude of this vector. So remember that the magnitude of this vector here is 2, and this vector here is 3. So we have a triangle, we have two sides, we have the angle, so we should be able to get this side using cosine law. So the magnitude of a minus b squared will be equal to the magnitude of a plus the magnitude of b minus 2 times the magnitude of a, magnitude of b, cosine of the angle, which in this case would be 30 degrees. So that's going to be 2 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times 2 times 3 times the cosine of 30 degrees. That's equal to the magnitude of a minus b squared. So the magnitude of a minus b is equal to the square root of, so this, if you square this, you're going to get 13 minus 12 cosine of 30, which works out to approximately 3.3. So the magnitude of a minus b is equal to approximately 3.3. So notice this is very, very similar to how you get the sum, the magnitude of the sum. The only difference is in this case you're using this angle, which is the angle between a and b, whereas when you did the sum you had to use this angle, because we were looking for, it's basically you're looking for the opposite diagonal in the parallelogram.